2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Mindset Alchemy podcast. I'm Janine, your host, and I'm delighted to introduce to you various guests who help you understand how to live a life of joy, a life of accomplishment, understanding where your thoughts, your words, and your actions meet to create this. And this morning, we are extremely blessed and highly favored to have Denise Edelstein all the way from Australia with us. Denise, welcome. I'm so glad you made the time to meet with us. How are you today?
I'm just wonderful, thank you, Janine. The sun is shining, it's absolutely glorious. It's the middle of winter and it's 24 degrees.
Awesome. Yes, yeah, even though for Spring Day, it's the 1st of September, which we call Spring Day, even though it's not Spring Day.
Yes.
It's rather chilly, but it's really beautiful. Denise, please give our audience a little idea of where you're from, where you've come from, and what made you create Pockets of Joy.
That's a very interesting story, Janine. It's quite a long story, but I'll keep it quite short. I was born in Sydney, the daughter of 2 perfectionists. So what choice did I have but to become a perfectionist? But my mother is a very right-minded woman and she saw the colour and joy in life. So I picked that up from her, and my father is a scientist and a metallurgist, so very left brain. So I have that too. And that's the way I originally started, to be a scientist. And then I pivoted and decided to become an accountant, which is a massive change. But I realised I loved people and I really didn't want to get stuck in the corner of a dark laboratory doing all this wonderful research, but no people. And I'm a people person and I love life. So accountancy was for me. So I pivoted and transformed, took what I knew and became an accountant, and I had my own practice. And I specialised in professional and small business. Now, that was a wonderful experience. I loved my clients. I loved helping them. And I was actually also a business coach long before that phrase was coined. So that was interesting that I was a business coach then, as well as an accountant and a tax advisor. And now I've become a success coach, a transformation and success coach. But it's all about people who are looking for what they were born to do. And I always knew that I was born to be an educator and a professional and to have my own business. I just thought that was a natural state of affairs. I'd go to school, I'd get my qualifications, and that's what I'd do. And I loved my accountancy practice. And then one day, my life changed so unexpectedly. I was driving along a highway. I just dropped my daughter at swimming training, thank God. And another car decided to turn across my path without looking. And I had this massive accident. I went straight into him. It scared the daylights out of me because I thought the car belonged to a friend of mine. Thank God it didn't. But I really thought I was going to die. And you know how life slows down, and I was standing on my brakes, screaming my lungs out, but of course it didn't help. And after I crashed into him, or should I say he crashed into me, I spun round and hit a pole. And from then, life was very different from what I'd ever known. So to cut a long story short, I finally, after 2 years, decided I wasn't getting any better. I had to sell my baby, not my physical baby, but my baby that was my practice that I loved and adored. I loved my staff, my clients, they loved me. It was a wonderful existence, but it was not meant to be forever. So while I was recovering, I realised I'd really hit rock bottom and I had to do something about it. I had to take back control of my life like I'd always done. And I started going out into the garden every morning and looking at the plants, and I developed this gorgeous courtyard garden. And of course, the left brain part of me put it all on a spreadsheet so I knew where everything was and what it was called and what I paid for it. All these sort of silly things, I guess. But yes, it was the accountant and the scientist. You know, I had to record on the left brain side, but on the right brain, I experienced the joy of all the flowers and the petals and the new buds and the growing. And I called these my pockets of joy. Wow. And from there, my pockets of joy grew. And I realized that was what I was going to do. I was going to teach other people about pockets of joy and how to have a really happy and fulfilled life. A lot of people are busy and they have a career, but it's not fulfilling, and they dare to be more. And from that was born my women's Facebook group, Women Who Dare to Be More. And I became a life purpose expert and a joyologist. I had already studied a lengthy course in neuro-linguistic programming. I'll get my mouth around it. And I became a master NLP practitioner because it was about getting from where you are to where you want to be, and not dwelling in the past and letting the past rule your life, but letting your heart guide you into a fulfilling and happy future. And that's where I am today. And of course, before I started taking on clients, I wrote a book. And it was another thing on my to-do list. Excuse me, my apologies. I'm just...
Not a problem. This shows we in real life.
I'm so sorry.
For those of you who can't see, Denise is wearing the most incredible, beautiful cerise pink outfit, which just absolutely personifies her joy. Carrying on, so what happened when you were writing your book?
So I dedicated it to my grandchildren because I wanted to leave a legacy for them, something to inspire them to take their journey through life, to guide them into their careers and their fulfilled life. I didn't actually dedicate it to my husband, and I did say to him, I'm sorry that I didn't do that. But if I had done that, I would have had to say to my darling husband, who said this would never happen, here it is. So my book was called 52 Pockets of Joy, a guide to discovering your life purpose. And this was the legacy I wanted to leave for the grandchildren. And at the time, my granddaughter was only 4, and I said to her that I had put her name with everybody else, all the other grandchildren. Number 5 hadn't been born yet, and said, you know, this book is dedicated to you. So then I had to explain to a 4-year-old what a dedication was. And she was so enthusiastic that she said to me, Grandma, when your book comes out, could I have an autographed copy, please?
Oh, that's
which I thought was ever so sweet.
And now, how did a 4-year-old know about an autographed copy? Did you share that with her?
Well, you know, she wanted me to sign it. And the interesting thing was that one of the photographs I put in my book was of her and her brother putting their hands in a rainbow, which had reflected and refracted onto the wall of their dining room. And I think the children are a wonderful source of inspiration. We learn so much from them. We think we're there to teach them, but they're also there to teach us. And they, at their young age, are filled with awe and wonder, and that is often lost by the time you mature into an adult and get on with your career and having a family or wherever life takes you. So the fact that the children put their hand in this rainbow that was projected across their wall, it epitomised to me the awe and wonder that we all think should carry with us. I mean, that's the way I live. And that's the scientist in me, because scientists are perpetually curious. And I'm curious about everything. And I love life. And I want to help other people to love it too, and to transform from where they are to where they truly want to be. And if they don't know what their life purpose is, I help them unpack that and to develop the tools that they need should they wish to become their own boss and pursue something themselves. Because pivoting from an employee to becoming your own boss is a massive change of mindset. And a lot of people don't realise that. So I explore those tools with them and give them that package that they need to take their life from where they are to where they want to be.
Oh, that's beautiful. Sorry,
that's what it's all about.
That is what it's all about. Just for our audience, is your book available on Kindle?
Yes, it is. It is. Okay. And I'm giving you the link to put in your show notes.
Oh, so fantastic. And your group, did you include the link for your group as well so people can find you?
I did. Awesome. And women from all walks of life and from all corners of the world are members of that group. And it doesn't matter whether they're employees, emerging entrepreneurs, or experienced entrepreneurs. We're all there to share our ideas, our thoughts in a safe and protected environment, women only, so that there is no judgment. Everybody is free to express what they like. And we talk about the things that are important for women who dare to be more, and we share stories and we answer questions and we support each other when somebody takes on a new venture, whether it's an interview or a new product or a change of job or a change of country or stepping up in their life to do something different or to learn something new. We're there to support each and every one of them. And it's wonderful that we do that. I have themed days, and we even have one day for quotes because I'm quote crazy. And my book is 52 pockets, which means there are 52 different pages of quotes and inspirational thoughts, and also a pocket of joy action plan. So there are questions to answer. There are things to think about and to record, and there are 52 of them. So 52 for a whole year, but for those who are enthusiastic, they can read it as fast as they want, because it's more about what it brings out of you than what I'm bringing to it. I'm not lecturing, I'm not teaching, I'm exploring and opening up the possibilities and helping people to explore who they are and the gifts and the talents that they bring to the world and what they would like to do to them and how they would like to stand up and be heard in the world, what difference they would like to make or what message they bring to the world, because everybody is unique, everybody's special. And we're here to help one another and make a better life for everybody.
So what made you focus on joy specifically? What is your joy today? What was your joy today?
My joy today was speaking to my daughter and hearing about her 6-year-old's public speaking speech. And because they're in lockdown, he had to do it for school via Zoom. Wow. And this sweet little boy, who is quite a character and a very funny little boy, talked about the holiday that we took all the grandchildren on, and he was only very little, and took them to Hawaii to celebrate my husband's 70th birthday. And it was such a joy. And it's fantastic when you make memories as a family, that the children carry those memories on. His older sister actually did the most beautiful scrapbook for me and did pictures and words and stories and what it all meant to her. And I think this is was so important for children to appreciate important values in life. And a family is got to be up there as number one, because everything you do is with the family in mind. And while I'm wanting to help other women, I want my message to help my children and my grandchildren. And I spoke to my number one grandson this morning, and he was telling me about his new music project. And I said to him, darling, I'm going to be on a podcast this afternoon. And he said, so am I, Grandma. And I said, that's amazing. What's it about? He said, we're doing a podcast as this semester's project for elective music. He's very musical and very gifted. They all are. And he said, we're doing a podcast, 3 of us together, and we've worked it all out. And he said, and I'm coordinating it and putting it all together. It's all being interviewed, recorded separately, and it's about a midnight oil song from the 1980s. And they're not only talking about the history of the musician, but they're analysing the music and the gift of it and what it's all about. And that really brings so much joy to my heart, because music is very important in my life. And I studied at the Conservatorium of Music in Sydney. And we have generations and generations of very, very special and talented musicians. And my grandson composes, and he was talking about his latest piece. And I can't tell you how much joy that brings to me.
That is so beautiful. Denise, what I'm really enjoying about our talk is how, because of the joy of your family, you are able to bring joy to other people and help business people because of that joy. If you had to leave our audience with one thought, feeling, expression, what would that be?
I've got 2 quotes for you. One is a John Keats. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. And of course, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So when I help people to discover their pockets of joy, it's not about what brings me joy, but what brings them joy. And I help them to unpack that and look in places they might not have thought of. Because, for example, if somebody walks down the road, sometimes they really don't see what's around them. It's like they have blinkers on. And in fact, half the time they have their headphones in and they're listening to music and they're missing out on the joy around them. Now, I have another quote for you, which I put in my book, right at the very end of my book. May I read it to you?
Absolutely.
This is from John Roan, who I actually met many years ago, and he's a very inspiring man. And I think he encapsulates how I feel. He says, I wish for you a life of wealth, health, and happiness. A life in which you give to yourself the gift of patience, the virtue of reason, the value of knowledge, and the influence of faith in your own ability to dream about and to achieve worthy rewards. And it's about that self-belief that is, to me, so important, because it's a tragedy when people go through their life not believing in themselves, believing in what they can do, believing in their unique talents. People put themselves down, and that's a very typical thing in Australia with the tall poppy syndrome. People don't like to stand up and be proud of what they can do. Now, I'm not saying, be over the top about it, but you should be comfortable with who you are and share the joy of who you are. And one of the most important things that I say about joy is many people say, I'll be happy when? Like when I get a new house, when I find the love of my life, when I get a new job, when I start my business, when I make my first $1 million. And I say, no, don't wait. Choose happiness now. Because if you are happy now and you choose to be happy, and it is a choice. We're born with different happiness set points, but we can choose to elevate the vibration of that joy till I say we are soaring on wings of joy. And when you choose to be happy right now, from this very moment, anything you choose to do in life will be happier. It will be easier. It will flow. Your creativity will get an enormous boost. It will free you from any pressures of what you must achieve in order to be happy. And you can do it from this very moment. Be yourself, love yourself, because a lot of people are very hard on themselves. And being your own worst critic is not helpful. You need to be your own best friend and to love and support yourself. And it's from that platform that you can love and support other people and bring them joy. But it all starts with you, and it all starts with choosing to be happy.
Oh, Denise, that is so beautiful. And you've really encapsulated what Mindset Alchemy is about, as well as bringing forward what joy is about. Thank you for being the joy of yourself and being the joy, showing us the joy of business, the joy of family, and the joy of life. People, check out the show notes, go and explore Denise's group and invest in her book, and have a wonderful, glorious, and joyful day. And we'll be back next week. Thank you for joining us. And Denise, thank you for being here. It's an
absolute pleasure, Janine.
Bye-bye.
It's been a pocket of joy for me to be here.
Oh, I love that. What a beautiful finish. Bye-bye.